The world is full of dreamers, but not everyone gets the chance to turn their dreams into reality. This story is about Ryan, a 17-year-old boy who had every reason to give up but chose to fight for his aspirations. Born with a disability that confined him to a wheelchair, Ryan faced challenges most of us couldn't even imagine. Yet he was a genius, with a spark of innovation that could light up the world. Ryan lived in a small, quiet town. Every day he maneuvered his wheelchair through narrow streets to reach the local library. It wasn't just a place filled with books. It was his window to the world. Ryan would spend hours reading about technology, space exploration, and inventors who dared to think differently. Among them, one name stood out: Elon Musk. Ryan admired Elon not just for his success, but for his relentless pursuit of the impossible. He devoured every article about Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink. Imagining himself one day being part of such revolutionary projects. But life wasn't easy for Ryan. His family struggled to make ends meet, and affording even basic necessities like a new wheelchair was a challenge. Yet, Ryan's mind refused to be limited by his circumstances. He had a dream, one he held close to his heart. Ryan wanted to create a self-driving, solar-powered wheelchair that could navigate any terrain. He believed it could revolutionize the lives of millions of people with disabilities. But how could a boy with no resources and no connections ever make something so grand a reality? One evening, Ryan stumbled upon an announcement online. Elon Musk was hosting a virtual Q&A session for young inventors. Participants were required to submit their innovative ideas, and a select few would get the chance to present their concepts to Elon himself. Ryan's heart raced. This was his chance. But there was a problem. The application required a working prototype or a detailed blueprint. Ryan had the ideas, but he lacked the tools and materials to build anything. Despite the odds, he refused to let the opportunity slip away. Over the next week, Ryan worked tirelessly, sketching his designs and writing detailed descriptions of how his wheelchair would work. He uploaded his submission with a mix of excitement and anxiety, hoping it would stand out among thousands of applicants. A week later, while browsing through books at the library, Ryan's phone buzzed. It was an email. As he opened it, his hands trembled. His submission had been accepted. Ryan was invited to the virtual session to present his idea. Tears welled up in his eyes. For the first time, it felt like the world was recognizing his potential. The day of the Q&A arrived, and Ryan was ready. Sitting in front of his laptop, he waited nervously for his turn. When his name was called, he took a deep breath and began presenting his concept. He explained how the wheelchair would use solar panels for energy, AI for navigation, and a sleek design to make it user-friendly. Elon Musk listened intently, nodding as Ryan spoke. When Ryan finished, there was a moment of silence. Then Elon leaned forward and said, "Ryan, this is brilliant. Your idea has the potential to change lives." Ryan couldn't believe his ears. Elon Musk, the man he idolized, believed in his vision. But what Elon said next left him speechless. "I want to help you bring this to life," Elon declared. "Let's make it happen." Within a week, Ryan found himself on a plane to Tesla's headquarters. It was his first time flying, and every moment felt surreal. When he arrived, he was greeted by a team of engineers and designers who were excited to collaborate on his project. For the first time, Ryan felt like he truly belonged. Elon personally mentored Ryan, guiding him through the complexities of advanced engineering. Despite his physical limitations, Ryan's mind worked faster than ever. He contributed ideas, solved problems, and inspired everyone around him with his determination. Months of hard work and sleepless nights followed, but finally the prototype was complete. The self-driving wheelchair was a marvel of technology, efficient, sustainable, and designed to navigate any environment. When Ryan tested it for the first time, tears streamed down his face. This wasn't just a machine. It was a symbol of hope and possibility. But Elon Musk wasn't done yet. He organized a grand event to unveil the wheelchair, inviting journalists, influencers, and tech enthusiasts from around the world. Ryan rolled onto the stage, greeted by thunderous applause. He shared his journey, speaking about resilience, dreams, and the power of kindness. The audience was moved to tears, but Elon had one more surprise. "Today we're not just launching a product," Elon announced. "We're launching a movement. A portion of the profits from this wheelchair will fund scholarships for young inventors like Ryan, ensuring that no dream is out of reach." Ryan was overwhelmed. His invention wasn't just helping him, it was going to change the lives of countless others. Ryan's success didn't just end with the wheelchair prototype. As the event concluded, journalists from around the globe approached him, eager to learn more about his story. Ryan, though overwhelmed, shared his experience honestly. His humility, intelligence, and passion left a lasting impression on everyone present. After the event, Elon Musk took Ryan aside. "This is just the beginning," he said with a smile. "You've shown the world what's possible when we combine innovation with empathy. Let's take this further." Ryan's invention wasn't just a technological breakthrough. It sparked a movement. The project quickly gained traction worldwide, with orders pouring in from every corner of the globe. Governments, organizations, and individuals wanted the revolutionary wheelchair for their communities. Ryan was not just an inventor anymore. He was becoming a voice for people with disabilities. Ryan's days became a whirlwind of activity. He was invited to speak at conferences, schools, and forums, where he passionately advocated for inclusivity in design and innovation. He didn't just talk about his wheelchair. He talked about the countless untapped ideas from people who were often ignored or underestimated. At one such conference, Ryan stood in front of a crowd of young students, many of whom were living with disabilities. His voice was steady as he said, "You don't need to wait for someone to recognize your potential. Start where you are, with what you have. And remember, no dream is too big if you're willing to fight for it." The audience erupted in applause, but Ryan wasn't focused on the praise. He was focused on the eyes of the kids in the room, eyes filled with hope and determination. Back at Tesla's headquarters, Ryan continued refining his wheelchair design. Elon Musk encouraged him to think even bigger. "What's the next challenge you want to tackle?" Elon asked one day as they brainstormed in a meeting room. Ryan hesitated for a moment before answering. "Transportation accessibility," he said. "There are still so many places where people like me can't go because the infrastructure isn't designed for us. I want to change that." Elon nodded, impressed. "Let's do it," he said. Together they assembled a team to work on a new project, an autonomous shuttle designed specifically for individuals with mobility challenges. The shuttle would feature adaptive seating, smart ramps, and voice-activated controls. It was an ambitious project, but Ryan's determination never wavered. The team worked day and night, fueled by a shared passion for the cause. Ryan's leadership shone through as he collaborated with designers, engineers, and accessibility advocates. He wasn't just solving problems, he was redefining what inclusivity looked like. Meanwhile, Ryan's story continued to inspire millions. Social media was abuzz with hashtags like Ryan Revolution and Innovation for All. People from all walks of life reached out to him, sharing their stories and ideas. Ryan made it a point to respond to as many messages as he could, often staying up late into the night. One evening he received a video message from a young girl in a rural village. She was seated in a makeshift wheelchair made of wooden planks and bicycle wheels. "Thank you, Ryan," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "You've shown me that I can dream too." Ryan was moved to tears. He realized that his work was about more than just technology. It was about giving people the courage to believe in themselves. Months later, the autonomous shuttle project was ready for its first public test. Ryan and Elon stood side by side as the sleek, futuristic vehicle rolled out of the Tesla garage. It was a proud moment for everyone involved, but especially for Ryan. The shuttle's debut was a resounding success. It navigated city streets flawlessly, demonstrating how technology could bridge the gap between accessibility and independence. For Ryan, it wasn't just about the shuttle. It was about proving that the world could be designed for everyone. At the press conference following the test, a journalist asked Ryan, "What keeps you going, despite all the challenges you've faced?" Ryan smiles. "I think about the people who never got a chance to live their dreams because the world wasn't built for them. I want to change that. I want to build a world where no one has to feel limited by their circumstances." As the months turned into years, Ryan's impact only grew. His wheelchair and shuttle projects revolutionized the mobility industry, setting new standards for accessibility. Schools, hospitals and public spaces began adopting designs inspired by his work, ensuring that no one was left out. But Ryan's vision extended far beyond his initial projects. He wanted to create a world where accessibility wasn't just an afterthought. It was a fundamental part of design. "Accessibility should be the default," he often said during interviews. His passion resonated with people worldwide, sparking a cultural shift in how societies approached inclusivity. One of Ryan's next initiatives was the Universal Design Movement, a global campaign advocating for architecture, technology, and products that could be used by everyone, regardless of ability. He partnered with organizations, governments, and private companies to implement these principles in everyday life. The results were astonishing. Cities began redesigning their transportation systems, public buildings, and parks to accommodate people with diverse needs. Ryan's work was also deeply personal. He visited communities where people with disabilities had been marginalized for years. In one such visit to a remote village, he met an elderly man who had been homebound for decades due to a lack of resources. Ryan promised to bring change, and within months, the village had ramps, pathways, and transportation options for all its residents. The joy on the elderly man's face was all the validation Ryan needed. Meanwhile, the autonomous shuttle project expanded rapidly. What began as a single prototype became a fleet of vehicles operating in major cities worldwide. The shuttles weren't just for people with disabilities. They were for anyone who needed a safe, reliable, and accessible mode of transportation. Parents with strollers, elderly individuals, and even travelers with heavy luggage found the shuttles invaluable. One day, Ryan was invited to speak at a global innovation summit. The event was attended by world leaders, industry giants, and changemakers. Ryan took the stage, his presence commanding the room. As he shared his journey, he spoke not only about his accomplishments, but also about the barriers he faced along the way. "Every challenge I encountered," Ryan said, his voice steady, "was a reminder of how much work we still have to do. But every breakthrough was proof that change is possible. It's not just about creating products, it's about creating a mindset where everyone matters." The audience erupted in applause. Among them was Elon Musk, watching proudly as his mentee inspired the world. Despite his growing fame, Ryan remained grounded. He often visited schools to encourage young minds to think creatively and empathetically. During one such visit, a young girl in a wheelchair approached him. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she shared her dream of becoming an astronaut. Ryan knelt to her level and smiled. "You can absolutely do it," he said. "The world might tell you it's impossible, but remember, impossible is just a word." He later worked with space exploration agencies to develop accessible training programs for aspiring astronauts with disabilities. The initiative opened doors for countless individuals who had once believed that space was out of their reach. Ryan's influence wasn't confined to the tech world. He became a symbol of hope and resilience, a reminder that greatness often comes from adversity. His story was adapted into books, documentaries, and even a movie, each capturing the essence of his journey. But Ryan didn't seek fame. For him, the true reward was seeing the lives he touched. One such moment came during a surprise visit to a school that had adopted his universal design principles. As he walked through the campus, he saw children of all abilities playing, learning, and laughing together. The sight brought tears to his eyes. "This," he said to a reporter accompanying him, "is what it's all about. It's not just about technology or innovation. It's about humanity." As Ryan's work gained momentum, he began collaborating with international organizations to address accessibility on a global scale. From disaster relief efforts to education initiatives, he used his platform to advocate for those often overlooked. He also established a foundation that provided scholarships, resources, and mentorship to young innovators passionate about inclusivity. Through it all, Ryan remained deeply connected to Elon Musk. Their partnership evolved into a friendship rooted in mutual respect and admiration. Elon often praised Ryan's unwavering determination, saying, "Ryan is proof that the future belongs to those who dare to dream and work relentlessly to make it a reality." One day, during a quiet moment at Tesla's headquarters, Ryan asked Elon, "Why did you choose to help me back then?" Elon leaned back in his chair, his gaze thoughtful as he considered the question. "Ryan," he began, his voice steady and sincere, "when I first met you, I saw something rare. It wasn't just your intelligence or your innovative ideas, it was your heart. You weren't driven by fame or fortune. You were driven by a purpose, by the desire to make life better for people who had been overlooked or underestimated. That kind of drive is what changes the world." Ryan nodded, absorbing Elon's words. "But weren't you afraid it was too risky?" he asked. Elon chuckled softly. "Everything worth doing is risky," he replied. "When I started Tesla and SpaceX, most people thought I was out of my mind. But I've always believed that if you see a better way to do things, you have a responsibility to act on it. Supporting you wasn't a gamble. It was a privilege, and you've proven that tenfold." The two men sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the weight of their shared journey settling around them. It wasn't just a professional relationship anymore. It was a deep friendship, forged through years of challenges, triumphs, and a shared vision for the future. As Ryan continued his work, he became a global ambassador for accessibility and innovation. Invitations poured in from universities, conferences, and governments seeking his advice on creating more inclusive societies. Despite his growing responsibilities, Ryan remained deeply committed to his roots. He often visited his hometown, reconnecting with the community that had shaped him. On one such visit, he stopped by his old high school. The memories came flooding back, of classrooms where he had dreamed big, of hallways where he had struggled to navigate with his wheelchair. Standing in the newly renovated auditorium, now fully accessible thanks to his advocacy, Ryan addressed a group of students. "You might think the world is too big to change," he said, his voice resonating with passion. "But every big change starts with one small step. Believe in your dreams, even when others don't. And when you face obstacles, remember, they're just opportunities to prove your strength." The students gave him a standing ovation, their faces alight with inspiration. Among them was a young boy who approached Ryan afterward, clutching a notebook filled with sketches. "Mr. Ryan," he said shyly, "I want to invent something that helps my grandma walk again." Ryan knelt to the boy's level, his smile warm and encouraging. "That's an incredible dream," he said, "and I believe you can make it happen. Start with what you have, and never stop learning." Back at Tesla's headquarters, Ryan and Elon collaborated on new projects that pushed the boundaries of technology and compassion. One initiative focused on integrating artificial intelligence into assistive devices, making them smarter and more intuitive. "Imagine a world," Ryan explained during a presentation, "where technology anticipates your needs before you even express them. That's the future we're building." The project was a massive success, with AI-powered devices transforming lives across the globe. A blind woman in India described how the technology allowed her to navigate her city independently for the first time. A veteran in the US marveled at how his prosthetic arm felt like an extension of himself. Each story reaffirmed Ryan's belief in the power of innovation to bridge gaps and break barriers. Years later, Ryan received a call that would change his life once again. The United Nations had selected him to receive the Global Humanitarian Award, a prestigious honor recognizing his contributions to accessibility and equality. The ceremony was to be held in New York, with leaders from around the world in attendance. As Ryan took the stage to accept the award, he paused to look at the audience. A sea of faces representing every corner of the globe. In that moment, he thought of all the people who had supported him along the way. His parents, who had taught him resilience. Elon Musk, who had believed in his potential. And the countless individuals who had inspired his work. "This award," Ryan said, his voice filled with emotion, "is not just for me. It's for every person who has ever felt invisible. It's a reminder that no matter who you are or where you come from, you have the power to make a difference. Together, we can build a world where no one is left behind." The applause was thunderous, echoing through the grand hall. Among the crowd, Elon watched with pride, knowing that his decision to help Ryan all those years ago had been one of the best he'd ever made. As Ryan left the ceremony, he was greeted by a young woman in a wheelchair. She introduced herself as a university student studying engineering, inspired by his story. "I want to follow in your footsteps," she said, her eyes shining with determination. Ryan smiles. "Don't follow in my footsteps," he replied. "Forge your own path. The world needs your unique perspective and ideas." The encounter reminded Ryan of why he had started his journey in the first place. It wasn't about recognition or awards. It was about empowering others to reach their full potential. In the years that followed, Ryan's influence only grew. He became a mentor to countless young innovators, a beacon of hope for those facing challenges, and a symbol of what was possible when determination met opportunity. And through it all, he never forgot the moment that had set everything in motion. The day Elon Musk had chosen to believe in him. It was a simple act of kindness, a spark of faith in a young man with big dreams. But that spark had ignited a fire that would illuminate the path for generations to come. Ryan's story wasn't just his own. It was a testament to the power of human connection, the importance of lifting others up, and the enduring truth that with the right support, anyone can achieve the impossible. And so, his legacy continued, not as a singular tale of triumph, but as a ripple effect of change, touching lives in ways he could only imagine.